One mistake, two heartbroken, a secret that changes everything. My name is Maya, I'm 29 years old. I thought I had found the love of my life. His name was Daniel, and he was everything I ever wanted in a boyfriend. He was kind, funny, and always knew how to make me smile. We met at college 2 years ago, and from the first day, I knew he was special. Daniel would bring me flowers every Friday and take me to my favorite restaurant. He listened when I talked about my dreams and supported me when things got hard. Everyone said we were the perfect couple, and I believed them. 6 months ago, Daniel proposed to me on the beach during sunset. He got down on one knee with tears in his eyes and asked me to be his wife. I said yes without thinking twice. The ring sparkled on my finger, and I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. We started planning our wedding right away. Daniel wanted everything to be perfect for us. He talked about our future, our home, and the children we would have someday. I loved him more each day. There was one strange thing about Daniel, though. He never talked about his father. Whenever I asked about his dad, Daniel would change the subject or say his father was very busy with work. He told me his parents were divorced and his dad traveled a lot for business. I met Daniel's mother many times. She was a sweet woman who treated me like her own daughter, but his father remained a mystery. Daniel promised I would meet him before the wedding, but he kept delaying it. 3 months before the proposal, my best friend Lisa convinced me to go to a club for her birthday. Daniel was out of town visiting his mother that weekend, so I went without him. I usually don't go to clubs, but it was Lisa's special day. The club was loud and crowded. The music made my heart beat fast, and the lights flashed in different colors. Lisa and I danced and laughed together. I was having fun, but I missed Daniel. At the bar, I met a man. He was tall, handsome, and well-dressed. He looked older than me, maybe in his 40s, but he had kind eyes. He bought me a drink, and we started talking. He told me his name was Marcus. Marcus was charming and easy to talk to. He made me laugh with his stories about traveling around the world. He seemed lonely, and I felt sorry for him. He said he was in town for business and didn't know anyone. I don't remember everything that happened that night. I had too much to drink, which I never do. Marcus offered to help me get home safely. The next thing I knew, I woke up in a hotel room with him next to me. My heart dropped. I felt sick to my stomach. I had made a terrible mistake. I loved Daniel, and I had betrayed him. I quickly got dressed and left without waking Marcus. I felt so ashamed and guilty. I never told Daniel what happened that night. I couldn't break his heart like that. I convinced myself it was just one mistake, one night that meant nothing. I would forget about it and be the best girlfriend to Daniel. I blocked that night from my memory and focused on our relationship. Daniel never suspected anything. We were happy together, and I promised myself I would never do anything like that again. 2 months after that night, I started feeling sick in the mornings. At first, I thought I had the flu, but when it continued for 2 weeks, I got worried. My friend Lisa suggested I take a pregnancy test. I bought 3 tests from different stores. All of them showed the same result, positive. I was pregnant. My hands shook as I stared at the tests. How could this be happening? I counted the weeks in my head. The timing matched that night at the club. The baby couldn't be Daniel's because we had been very careful. We wanted to wait until after marriage. My heart raced with panic. What would I do? If I told Daniel the truth, he would leave me. If I lied and said the baby was his, I would be living a lie forever. I was trapped with no good choice. After days of crying and thinking, I made a decision. I would tell Daniel I was pregnant and let him believe the baby was his. We were getting married anyway, so the baby would have a father. It was wrong, but I was too scared to lose him. When I told Daniel about the pregnancy, he was shocked at first. Then his face broke into the biggest smile I had ever seen. He hugged me tight and said he was the happiest man alive. Seeing his joy made me feel even more guilty. Daniel wanted to move the wedding date closer because of the baby. His mother was thrilled about becoming a grandmother. Everyone around us was so happy and excited. I smiled on the outside, but inside I was dying with guilt. I was now 4 months pregnant, and my belly was starting to show. Daniel would talk to my stomach every night, telling the baby how much he loved it. Each sweet word from him was like a knife in my heart. Daniel said it was finally time for me to meet his father. He explained that his dad had been traveling for work in Asia for the past year. Now he was back, and Daniel wanted to introduce me before the wedding. I was nervous about meeting him, but I thought it would be good to finally meet Daniel's dad. We planned to have dinner at a fancy restaurant downtown. Daniel said his father wanted everything to be special. The day of the dinner arrived. I spent hours getting ready, choosing a dress that hid my pregnancy belly. Daniel kept telling me I looked beautiful. He was so proud to introduce me to his father. In the car on the way to the restaurant, Daniel held my hand. He told me his father could be a bit serious, but he had a good heart. He said his dad would love me just like his mother did. We arrived at the restaurant early. It was elegant with soft lighting and classical music playing. Daniel was more nervous than I had ever seen him. He kept fixing his tie and checking his watch. My stomach felt tight with anxiety. I thought it was just normal nervousness about meeting Daniel's father for the first time. I had no idea what was about to happen. Daniel's phone buzzed. He read the message and said his father had arrived. He was waiting for us at a private table in the back of the restaurant. Daniel took my hand and led me through the dining area. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. We walked past other tables where couples were eating and talking. Everything seemed to move in slow motion. We reached the private section, and Daniel's father stood up from the table to greet us. When I saw his face, the whole world stopped spinning. It was Marcus, the man from the club, the man I had spent that terrible night with. He was Daniel's father. Marcus's face went white when he saw me. His eyes moved down to my pregnant belly, and I saw him do the math in his head. Daniel didn't notice anything wrong at first. He was smiling and introducing us. "Dad, this is Maya, my fiancée," Daniel said proudly. "Maya, this is my father, Marcus Wilson." My mouth opened, but no words came out. I felt like I was going to faint. Marcus looked just as shocked as I felt. Marcus recovered quickly and shook my hand. His grip was tight, almost desperate. "Nice to meet you, Maya," he said in a strained voice. His eyes were begging me not to say anything. I somehow managed to smile and say hello. We all sat down at the table, but I couldn't feel my body. This couldn't be real. This had to be a nightmare. The dinner was torture. Daniel talked excitedly about our wedding plans and the baby. Every word made the situation worse. Marcus barely ate anything. He kept staring at me with wide, frightened eyes. I excused myself to go to the bathroom. I needed to escape, even for just a minute. I splashed cold water on my face and looked at myself in the mirror. What was I going to do? When I came out of the bathroom, Marcus was waiting in the hallway. He grabbed my arm gently and pulled me aside. His face was full of panic. "Is the baby mine?" he whispered urgently. I couldn't lie to him. I nodded yes. Tears started falling down my face. Marcus looked like he might be sick. "We have to tell him," Marcus said. "We can't let Daniel marry you thinking this baby is his. It's not right." I begged Marcus not to say anything. I loved Daniel, and this would destroy him. Marcus shook his head sadly. He said Daniel deserved to know the truth, no matter how much it would hurt. We went back to the table together. Daniel looked at us with concern. "Is everything okay?" he asked. Marcus took a deep breath. "Son, I need to tell you something. Maya and we met before, 3 months before you proposed to her." Daniel's smile faded. He looked confused. "What do you mean?" Marcus told Daniel everything. About the club, about that night, about the baby. I sat there crying, unable to speak. Daniel's face changed from confusion to understanding to pure pain. He looked at me with such hurt in his eyes. "Is this true, Maya?" he asked in a broken voice. I nodded. "I'm so sorry, Daniel. I never meant to hurt you. I love you." Daniel stood up from the table. He took off his jacket slowly, like he was moving through water. "I need to go," he said quietly. I can't look at either of you right now." He walked out of the restaurant without looking back. I tried to follow him, but Marcus stopped me. "Let him go," he said. "He needs time." We stood there in that restaurant, two people who had destroyed the person they both loved. The baby kicked inside me, and I realized this child would grow up knowing what we had done. 3 days have passed since that dinner. Daniel won't answer my calls or texts. His mother called me crying, asking what happened. I couldn't tell her the whole truth. Marcus came to my apartment yesterday. He said he would take responsibility for the baby. He wants to help financially and be in the child's life, but we both know nothing can fix what we broke. I sit here now, rubbing my growing belly, wondering what will happen next. Will Daniel ever forgive me? Can Marcus and I find a way to raise this child together? Will this baby grow up hating us for the way it was created? I don't have answers to these questions. All I know is that one mistake, one night I can barely remember, changed everything. The secret I tried to hide came out in the worst possible way. Now I have to live with the consequences for the rest of my life. The only thing I'm sure of is that I will love this baby, no matter what. And someday, when my child is old enough to understand, I will tell them the whole truth. Not because I'm proud of what I did, but because they deserve to know their story. This is my life now. Not the fairy tale I imagined with Daniel, but a complicated, messy reality where I have to be strong enough to face what I've done and somehow build a future from the pieces.